We're saying the same thing but different.
789, not 678. Hello, my name is Steve.
And I'm David.
And you are listening to Anime Plus. So this week we are talking about Shoshimin Season 2, Episode 3. And,
AKA the hotness.
We're still dealing with Yuki's boyfriend, Urino. So the next edition of the newspaper is out, and Urino has decided to run the alternate story relating to him tracking down these fires that his friend had suggested. He does so because in a stroke of luck, the guidance counselor who dressed him down in the last episode had gotten transferred to a different school as we move into the next year. So we're into the next year of school. Jogoro, Yuki, and Kengo are now third-year students. So now we have the new school year started, and Urino, because the guidance counselor can't chide him for printing the article that does not explain how he figured out how the pattern goes.
That was wildly fucking convenient, by the way.
He also includes in his article kind of a recruitment for new members now that we have a fresh batch of freshmen. Or a fresh batch of first-year students.
That's funny. Because fucking Kengo's like, really?
The newspaper staff has a meeting, and Monchi, who I think Monchi is a third year as well. I believe him and Kengo are in the same grade.
Maybe.
Monchi
There's a chance he could be a second year.
He could be a second year, but he just feels like he's the same age as Kengo. But I may be wrong about that.
I don't know. Kengo made the point that he was a third year.
Oh, no, yeah, you're right.
Because if
we go back to the Jelly Donut episode, everyone else was a bunch of first years, and he was a second year.
Mm-hmm.
So Monchi is dressing down Urino because of his flagrant ignoring of...
Disregard.
Yeah, his flagrant violation of requests from faculty, and still not printing his secrets, how he's been able to predict where these fires happen. Conversation ensues. Urino also gets dressed down about using his article as kind of a recruitment tactic because it may, in Kengo's words, attract people to the club for the wrong reason. Bringing up that proposition within the article may only bring in people who are interested in this type of writing for the paper, which he thinks is not the way the paper should be going. But then he also presses Urino to tell him what the secret is. Urino presents documentation that he's familiar with because his older brother is a firefighter that lists a series of locations within the city that are potential problems for the fire departments. He's suspecting that the culprit may be a firefighter and may be using this as a underhanded way to bring attention to this concern that the municipal fire department has had that seemed to have been ignored by the city government and the public at large. Kengo realizes that the course of action that's happened probably is the better choice for them because he feels that if the article where Urino explains how he came to these predictions were to come out, it might lead to copycat crimes, which would put the newspaper club in a far more dangerous position if they were being held liable for additional arsons. So at the end of everything, though, Urino is really doing this to impress Yuki. Oh, against a couple of people's desires, Urino is made the next president of the club because Kengo is stepping away because he's got
exams.
He's got exams to deal with. Urino is really just doing all this at this point to please Yuki. And Yuki approaches him, I believe, probably a couple days later, I'm assuming, after he's become president. Yeah. That was an incredibly...
When she dropped the receipt and he went to pick it up, for some reason, I just anticipated her like kicking him in the face.
Why do you think she dropped that receipt?
Power.
She was literally lording over him.
Yeah,
as he bent down to pick it up.
That was a power play.
100%.
It was her way of basically like
asserting dominance.
Right, and reminding him that she's in charge.
Kind of a little bit of a slap on the wrist for attempting to kiss her.
Yeah.
It's like, no, bitch. I'm the one who makes the rules. Oh my God, she
definitely was like, You're the Kohai.
Yeah.
Know your place.
Yep.
Peasant.
Urino's drama aside, we cut to Kengo and Jogoro doing a deep dive into everything that's been going on.
I laughed when he calls Kengo and then it's like, oh, never mind, hangs up.
Oh, yeah.
And you hear Kengo go, fucker hung up on me.
Yeah, Jogaro's at the library. I think he's doing some studying for exams probably. And he steps outside because he wants to call Kengo. But Kengo's hanging up because he's walking out of the library as well.
So Jogoro hangs up on Kengo because he decides he doesn't want to talk to him. As he hangs up on Kengo, you hear Kengo go, "Wow, he hung up on me." And he's like going to call him back, calls him back. Jogoro answers, talking to him.
And they're both outside of the library.
Yeah, and then goes, "Look up." And Kengo's like...
Yeah, because Jogoro...
I love the exasperated look Kengo has, like, fucking really?
Yeah, because Jogoro knew that Kengo was there, and Kengo didn't realize it yet. And Jogoro's like, bro, come on, just pay attention. They pretty much do a debrief.
Yeah.
On everything that's been going around with Urino and the fires. Jogoro explains to Kengo why he wanted the picture, and everything's kind of, certain aspects seem to be tied back to what happened during the summer with the kidnapping and everybody's involvement in that.
Yep.
They end up coming to the conclusion that Yuki is probably responsible in some way to these arsons. And so they go to talk to one of her classmates, where they find out a couple of interesting things. One, they find out that Yuki and Urino are a couple. And the other thing they find out is that Jogoro's girlfriend has a couple other boyfriends.
Yep.
So Jogoro is now in this very interesting and complex position about the two women that he's been close to.
They're all manipulative. Fuck.
Poor Jogoro. My God.
Apparently there's three of them, because she makes a comment how there's a third one now too.
With it that his girlfriend is seeing. So
like there's a college guy, him, and then an underclassman.
Someone else in school. Yeah, I couldn't remember the name exactly. Though I'm wondering if that's true or not, and maybe just hearsay about her. I don't know. Something manipulative. Because everybody knows they're dating.
Yeah. I don't know. That girl seems like she doesn't like Jogoro's girlfriend, so it could just be malice. Yeah. Like it's like common high school shit. Like,
of course.
Did you hear the what's her face is fucking 47 guys at school? Like,
correct. Yeah.
You know, that's not physically possible, but
it's interesting how well Yuki has hidden her relationship with Urino for the past 6 months. Or actually longer now at this point, I think. That both Kengo and Jogoro hasn't really been around Yuki at all, so.
They did kind of agree that they were going to completely stay out of each other's business.
Kengo didn't even pick up on anything. They've done quite well or at least Yuki has. I'm sure Urino is more than willing to be out in the open about his relationship. It's interesting how much Yuki has obfuscated things for everybody. But that's just her nature, isn't it? Manipulative, controlling, and underhanded. Yeah.
No, this show is ramping it up to 4,000.
It is, yeah. This episode definitely cranked up the tension more. It's setting up a payoff that needs to be as equally tense and interesting. I'm still wondering if Yuki does have a partner, if it is that girl from the gang that she wrangled into helping her with the kidnapping plot.
Monchi is also a big suspect for me too. I think because they mentioned that he knows Yuki.
That's right.
And I think he's being so aggressive with Urino to try to cover his trail.
Hear me out now. Kengo had no inkling that Yuki and Urino were an item.
Yeah.
And then we're presented with the idea that Jogoro's girlfriend, unbeknownst to everybody, is 3-timing.
Yeah.
Could that have been a tip to Yuki double timing Urino with Monchi?
Maybe to throw them off Monchi's trail?
I don't know.
Maybe that girl's in on it too.
Because Monchi has been super aggressive towards Urino as far as we've ever seen. For the entire season.
Yeah.
He's just been very adamant against anything that Urino suggests and does, which could be Yuki manipulation, perhaps? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and find out, right? But oh my God, it could go that deep and be that complex.
Maybe.
Could be. I don't know. And again, I love the idea that Jogoro just doesn't deny when anybody says that him and Yuki were a thing, which from our perspective in season 1 is not necessarily the case.
Yeah.
But that also brings into mind, how did Jogoro view their relationship?
I don't know.
The way he behaved with Yuki doesn't seem any different from the way he's behaving with his girlfriend. So maybe he did just consider it as a relationship, as a dating kind of scenario.
Maybe.
I don't think Yuki did. I don't think Yuki even considers what's going on with Urino as a romantic thing.
I don't know, maybe. She's crazy.
I don't know about crazy. She does everything deliberately. She is manipulative and underhanded. She's poisonous.
Yeah. Strong female character. We like those.
Yeah, but
not when they're
not for
strong
evil.
in a toxic sense.
She's very toxic. We don't like toxic characters are typically not ones we like to put on pedestals.
I do still like my comparison to Jogoro and Yuki as Sherlock and Moriarty.
Yeah, I think that's becoming even more of a reality.
I feel like that comparison fits the bill a little bit.
I think you're right. Yeah.
A Moriarty Sherlock motif doesn't have to follow exactly
No.
Sherlock and Moriarty.
No, not at all.
But you can definitely see the parallels between Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's works and the author of Shoshimin with Yuki and Jogoro's relationship, which is beautiful. I love it.
Especially now that Yuki is playing so many different angles.
This season is nail-bitey.
It's been so good.
The next episode, the way the episode like cliffhangs,
Yes.
every time you're just like, oh fuck, I need it to be next week. I haven't been disappointed with an episode yet of Shoshimin this season. Having the backstory of a completed first season and now knowing that this like intenseness has been ramping up every episode,
Yeah.
I've been on board like hella on board.
The first season lays so much of the groundwork, but does it in a way as to not spoil a lot of the conflicts, that it's hard to recognize how well it was doing it as it was happening.
Yeah, I think the first season is better told as a complete story.
I can agree with that, yeah.
First season should have been
2 movies, maybe?
2 to 3 movies or a mini series. I think the episodes would have been, the arcs would have benefited more being together and then told closer together. So that's kind of my take on the first season of Shoshimin, that I would have really enjoyed it probably the first way through if it was told sequentially.
This season, though, it doesn't suffer from that.
No, because the story has been overarching throughout all the episodes. There is a major plot point in every episode that I feels benefit from having breathing room to kind of think about it.
Yeah.
I just feel like the last season didn't need the amount of week-long breathing room that we got.
And some of the episodes felt like they meandered for no reason, but that reason doesn't become apparent until much later. You gotta have faith. Just keep going.
Yeah, the first season definitely would have benefited from being condensed.
Sure.
Not condensed, but released
Quicker.
closer together.
And you absolutely cannot appreciate season 2 without experiencing all the information in season 1.
Correct. You would be so lost if you just picked up Shoshimin season 2.
Well, not
without
lost,
season 1.
but you wouldn't understand the dynamics that are not being showcased.
Right. The show would have a different meaning without season 1.
Absolutely. Urino would be the main character.
Urino would be the main character. You'd be like, why do we care about Jogoro?
Yeah.
Why is Kengo so involved in this?
Yeah. Beyond just being the president of the newspaper club.
Right. And then you don't get the Sherlock and Moriarty-ness of Jogoro and Yuki as much.
Correct. Oh, at all.
At all.
At all.
Or the kind of confirmation that Yuki is this like evil mastermind.
Manipulator.
No, I'm honestly really glad I gave this anime a second chance.
I'm glad you did too. I'd be like, oh, David, you should watch Shoshimin. This is really good.
And then I tell you to go fuck yourself.
Yeah, which, it's fair. That's fair.
But no, I'm glad that I out of the blue decided to rewatch it to see why it deserved a second season.
Sure.
Which a lot of people had been saying in different realms that Shoshimin, definitely deserved its second season.
Part of me wants this plot to take up the entire season.
I
don't think it will.
I don't know if it can fit the whole season.
No,
you're
right.
I
think I'm being greedy because I'm just enjoying this so much. Who knows? We'll find out. We'll get there eventually. We'll know by the end of it. Well, thanks for listening. Let us know what you think. And, compared with season 2 of Shoshimin versus season 1 and how the story has been progressing and building upon itself. Also, don't forget the regular podcast, which comes out on Fridays. We're reviewing 3 other new shows for the season. They are Kowloon Generic Romance, My Hero Academia Vigilantes, and Lazarus. Otherwise, thanks again. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit us up on socials.
Ring that bell.
And we will check you guys next time. Thanks again.